So, hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Hitesh Bhatia, and let me start by telling you a little about the person who you're going to spend the next 1.5 hours with today evening. I live in Mumbai. I was born and brought up in this beautiful city of Mumbai. I was introduced to a lot of alternative healing modalities as a child. My family was one of the families where every Sunday we had some Babaji or some Guruji coming over, all of these coming over, and I was introduced to them. Sometimes I was asked to go inside the bedroom, sometimes I was asked to stay in front of them. While all of this happened, there were many interesting people who came home. I remember someone who did tantric puja and different kinds of people my grandmother would call home. But me being me and a life being life, I normally shied away from all of this. And I moved away. I was introduced to Reiki, pranic healing, theta healing, landmark forums, many of these beautiful places that speak and teach different facets of the alternate healing. But like I said, I think life had different plans for me. I had to experience certain traumas in my life. I think I had to go through the journeys of life, go through the ups and downs of life, and then come back a full circle into this space. So my name is Hitesh Bhatia. I grew up in Bombay. I became a chef. I was introduced to these modalities. From being a chef, I moved into sales, and I spent a lot of my life in sales. From sales, I took another full circle back and had opened my restaurants. My restaurants weren't really doing well. They were failing miserably. I had 11 of them in Mumbai. And um, the way I was taught and the way I was conditioned in sales was very different from the way I knew most people in this space are conditioned. I was conditioned very simply: when things don't go well, you start drinking, you start smoking, you start doing all of those things which normally are escapes. So I was one of those persons who had a new mobile every time the new BlackBerry was launched. My days would start off in office and my evenings would come at the nearest bar to home or wherever I was. There was a time I remember very clearly. My friends and I would plan to go for a restaurant, to go for lunch or for breakfast. The criteria of looking for a place was: will they serve alcohol? Will they serve non-veg? Can we smoke over there? And that's the kind of personality I had. I was really happy because it was very simple. If you had a bad day and if you were having difficulty dealing with something, you had to go and drink a little more to numb the pain. And life went on like that till 2015, and my restaurants were failing and the pain became unbearable. I didn't know how to deal with failure. I was never taught how to deal with failure. All my conditioning had told me that the only way to deal with failure is you go drink. You don't talk to anybody about it, because in the circles that you are, you can't talk about what you're going through. And that's the way I was conditioned. And that's the only way I knew it. Till when the restaurants failed, it was everything I stood for. Being a chef, being a passionate chef, I would always cook at home. That's the only way I knew how to do things. And then what happened was something interesting happened. The systems, all the processes, I almost had a breakdown one day where I didn't know what was going wrong. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know what was happening. And that pain inside just kept on increasing. I almost raised my hand on a family member. And I knew that was not me. And that sort of brought about an emotional turmoil within. And from there, everything I knew and everything I had built on started collapsing. What I did was I reached out to a friend. Luckily, she was the only therapist I knew. I started regression therapy with her, and I saw myself changing and evolving in a matter of sessions. I think 3 or 4 sessions, and I saw such fantastic results that I got so interested in this space that I decided to go ahead and become a past life regression therapist myself. This was in 2018. And that started my journey of believing. I honestly thought that all of this at one point of time that we speak about, alternate healing, therapy, Reiki, all doesn't work. I was a non-believer. I'm sure many of us today know of family members or friends when you tell them that I believe in meditation and I was up Taltani, that doesn't work. I was one of those guys who thought this never worked. So coming a full circle today and building a community where we talk to almost 20,000 people across the world, And I actually am an avid believer and I champion this cause of alternate healing. So that, in a nutshell, is a little about me and my background. I studied past life regression therapy at the Tasso Institute in Netherlands. It's one of the oldest schools in regression therapy in the world. I was lucky enough to study under great teachers like Marion, Boone, and Hans. And I learned the non-spiritual way of regression therapy. We were taught about it in a very scientific way. And then from there, when my wife, who studied with Dr. Newton and she learned family constellations with Dr. Newton Kondaweti and Dr. Lakshmi, and then further her studies in this space with different teachers in India, we spoke, we connected, my wife and we both learned a very interesting way, which is the non-spiritual way and the spiritual way. And we bring both of that into joining. So good evening once again, and good morning to wherever in the world you are. What we're going to talk about today, and Sunil has mentioned earlier, I'm also on the group, so I saw the message that he sent out. And we're going to talk about the master of your destiny. So let's first understand, what does a master mean and what does destiny mean? Do we really know what these words mean? If anybody would like to answer them, feel free to put it in the chat. I like sessions to be interactive. So if you have any questions or if you want to share anything, please feel free at any point of time to put anything in the chat and I'll address it. The word master comes to us from English. The word destiny comes to us from English. And I'm going to make a little deviation here to understand, do English and Hindi really mean the same thing? We live in a country, which is India, and most of us, from the names that I see in the screen over here, are Indians. So do we all speak English? It's a language I'm communicating to you right now in. But are all words that we speak and we communicate in have the same meaning in English as they have in Hindi? I did some research. This is an area of interest and passion for me. So I started digging and I looked at simple words like Atma and soul. What we look at in life, in Hindi we say Atma, in English we say soul. Are they the same thing? Do they mean the same thing? Actually, no. The word Atma is introduced to us by the Vedas. Atma and Paramatma, as they say. Atma, the Vedas teach us and tell us that Atma never experiences pain. The word soul comes from the Bible. The Bible says the soul suffers. Right? I hope you guys are getting this. From here, we look at other words. We look at meditation and dhyan. The British came to India, and when they came to India, they needed to communicate with people, with the Indians. And when they wanted to communicate, they looked for the way the Indians spoke, which is Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, whatever our rural dialects were, and tried to find matching words in their dictionary and started making sense of it. So, Atma became soul, Dhyan became meditation, and many words became like that. Fortunately or unfortunately, they never found a word for karma. They never found a word for things like Pitradosh, which is what we are in right now. It's the period of paying homage to your ancestors. They didn't find words for many of these things, so they kept them the way they are. So what really is master and what really is destiny? We will talk about that, and I will cover that towards the end of the session, because the idea is to tell you that you are your master of your own destiny. And what better way to tell you it than to demonstrate and make you experience. So we're going to talk today about the past, the present, and the future. But before we do that, let's understand who we are. It's a very philosophical question. A lot of philosophers and psychologists, it's a great conversation. If you are 10 therapists or 10 healers in a room, the question will be like, what is our purpose on earth? What is the purpose of life? What is my purpose of life? Why am I here? And so on. But the question before all of that is, who are you? And there have been many people who've tried to answer this question. Some say we are spiritual beings with a human presence. Some say we are Homo sapiens. I talk to and work with a lot of children, specifically college students, philosophy, psychology students. And most of them will normally say, I am Hitesh Bhatia. That's the easiest way. And I have a lot of fun with them because I tell them that is your name. That is not who you are. Then you say, we're Indian. That is the race. I'm a man. That is the gender. That is not who you are. So when we look deeper in this equation, what we really understand and what we really are able to identify is we are all a collection of our experiences. We are a collection of our experiences. I am a collection of my experiences, and you are a collection of your experiences. What makes us unique is that my experiences are unique to me. What brings us together is that we are all a collection of our experiences. What makes all of us 32 in this room come together is that we are all a collection of our experiences. But what is unique is that you and I can have the same experience and walk away differently from it. If you and I went and sat down as a roller coaster ride, or you and I went and sat down on any interesting experience, one of us could walk away scared, one of us could walk away with a beautiful experience. So the same experience, absolutely everything being the same, can have different impacts on both of us at the same time, which is what makes us unique. We are all a collection of our experience. Now comes the interesting part. Where do these experiences come from? Is there a ground zero for these experiences? Do they start when I turned 18? Did they start? Because when I look back at my life, I can remember things of 18 or being in college. I can remember some things of being in school. When did ground zero of experiences start? Did it start the day I was born? Did these experiences start when I was in my mother's womb? If you ask women, they will tell you very clearly that when you're pregnant, you need to be more careful because the baby experiences everything that you experience. The ancient wisdom tells us that the child inside the stomach experiences everything that the mother experiences. When we do regression therapy, people regress back to being in the womb. So did these experiences start when we were in the womb? And let's leave that as a question for a moment and just slightly digress. Where do you think experiences are stored? Where in our body do we store memory? So where do you think experiences get stored? We grew up believing that experiences get stored in our brain. As a child, I thought all memory is stored in my brain. Only to grow up and now, as the IFSS puts it, become a spiritual scientist to understand that memory is not stored in the brain. Memory is stored in our cells. If you talk to athletes, they will talk to you about cellular memory. They will talk to you about their experiences, and they will talk to you, even doctors today talk about cellular memory, that the cells have memory. There was an interesting gentleman, Dr. Masaru Emoto. I've written it down. Dr. Masaru Emoto, the beautiful Japanese experiment that he did, where he experimented with water. And I'm sure most of you have heard or seen of this experiment, where he put water in 2 bottles, and to one bottle of water, he said good things, and to the other bottle of water, he said bad things. The temperature, the environment, everything was controlled. And they started looking at the cells under a telescope, the cells where good things had been told. They started becoming beautiful. The way the cells looked, they were more beautiful. When he started looking at the cells where they had been told negative things, they had been told, you're an idiot. You're a horrible water. You're horrible water. You water are ugly. How is such a horrible bottle of water you are? the cells in that bottle of water started looking ugly. They looked distorted. And he came to the conclusion that memory is stored in the cell, which is what athletes and many other people have been practicing for a fairly long time. So just to do a quick recap, we are a collection of our experiences. We were talking about the ground zero of experiences, and then we spoke about where do experiences get stored. Experiences get stored in our cell. So if I look at where is ground zero my mother's stomach, where I am created? But I am created from the cells of my father and mother. And modern science tells you today very clearly that diseases can be genetic. That means the cells and the DNA carries memories, that one cell that the father gives and the one cell that the mother gives can carry so much that it can give you diseases, it can give you the color of your eyes, it can give you the blood group, it can give you your facial features. People often tell me my nose looks like my father. My hair, receding hairline is hereditary in our ancestral line. So that one cell carries so much of memory that one cell also carries experiences of our. So we are a collection of our experiences. Where do experiences stored? They are stored in our cells. Where do experiences come from? Experiences come from our ancestors. Now let's look at what really are experiences and what happens in a moment of an experience. After this talk, when you go home, you will have two experiences. Either you were bored or you had fun. If you had fun, then you will have a different experience. If you were bored, you'll have a different experience. If you were bored, you will very clearly say, Hitesh Bhatia is a boring guy, I'm not going to come back to him. So there's a conclusion. What happens in every moment? Those of you who've seen children, you know when you feed the child a lemon for the first time, what does the child do? The child does 3 or 5 minute process to give you an idea of what I'm talking. So just close your eyes. Just take a few deep breaths, breathing in from your nose and breathing out from your mouth. In and out. And in every breath, keeping your attention more and more focused on the inhalation and exhalation of your breath. With your eyes closed, imagine that you are in a room in your house. In your imagination, imagine that you are in a room in your house. This could be any room. It could be the room that you are in right now, or could be any other room in your house. And once you're in that room, you nod your head and give me a sign that you're there. In case there is anybody else in that room or in the house, you can ask them to leave you alone for the duration of this process. Now, what you can do is, in your imagination, in the room that you are in, get up and walk from the room to the kitchen. As you find yourself in the kitchen, look at the kitchen platform and you will find a lemon there, a limbu. Look at the lemon, hold it in your hand, feel the texture in your palm. How does it feel? Is it hard? Is it firm? Is it soft? Look at the color of the lemon. How does the color of the lemon look? Try shaking the lemon. Does it make any noise? Bring the lemon close to your nose and smell it. How does the lemon smell? Next to where you found the lemon on the kitchen platform, you will find the knife. Take the knife and cut the lemon in two pieces. As you cut the lemon in two pieces, look at the colors once again. Look at the change. Notice the change in the color. Hold the lemon in your hand. Notice the change in how the lemon feels in the palm of your hand. And now gently bring the lemon close to your nose and smell it. Notice the difference in smell. And as you hold the lemon in the palm of your hand, open your mouth and squeeze in a large helping of lemon juice into your mouth. And now you can open your eyes and come back to the here and the now. I couldn't see the other, but I clearly saw Sunil go like this. And Mamta and Manusha also go like that. So what I was trying to demonstrate, and I'm not sure if how many of you did the process, since your videos, I couldn't figure that out. But what I was trying to demonstrate simply was that what happens is the mind doesn't understand the difference between reality and what we think. In the reality, there is no lemon. But we could feel the lemon taste in our mouth. Maybe some of you are feeling thirsty, which is what happens if we have a little khatta or sour food. What the mind does is it recreates the experience for the body basis on what we feel. So, When you look at that, we are a collection of our experiences. The experience is stored in ourselves, and there is the ground zero that these experiences come from. The ground zero doesn't need to be real, which is why experiences that we have could come from our parents, from our ancestors, or even from society. A lot of the times, our teachers, when we are children, tell us things, and that becomes our reality. So now that we know these things, what do we do about these things? Now that we know that we are a collection of our experiences, we know that we are controlled by our past experiences. What happens is, in moments of trauma, three things happen. There is a conclusion, there is a decision, and there is an acting out. If today you were to eat a food you didn't like, let's say you ate sushi, and you didn't like the food, you will either spit it out or swallow it based on your conditioning. In your mind, you will conclude that sushi doesn't taste good, or sushi is horrible tasting food. The next time you see sushi, the mind makes a decision that sushi is bad, I'm not going to try it. Over time, what happens is, and then you start acting this out. Over time, what happens is, we forget the conclusion, we forget the decision, we forget the incident. We are only acting it out. So when you look at controlling our destiny or becoming the master of our destiny, we look at meditation, we look at manifestation, we look at different aspects of the work we do. But what really happens is, we are always responding to situations basis our past experience. A lot of people come to me in therapy saying, I want to lose weight. I live in Bombay, which is the city of Bollywood. A lot of people are about Bollywood and about films and wanting to look good. And they come saying, I want to lose weight, I want to look more prettier. And then they say, oh, I've been doing affirmations, Hitesh. What are the affirmations? I am losing weight. I say, fantastic. Do you like losing? And the answer is no. The second you say, I am losing, the mind associates losing with something else. And the weight has no relevance over there. So I am losing weight becomes irrelevant, and it doesn't work for people. Which is why affirmations and other things work for some people, don't work. So how do we really become the master of our destiny? We have to have a three-pronged approach. The first is, we have to understand our past. That there is something about our past that we carry, which is either experiences that I have, or experiences that society has taught me and I have taken to be my own, or experiences of my parents or my ancestors that I carry in my DNA. From the past, I get a different perspective. When you do regression therapy, you don't go into the past. You access that past, or that part of your past that you're holding on to. So once you work with the past, you become more present. From the present, you go and create your future. The way we work, this is the way we've learned it. For the past, you do regression therapy, you do family constellations, you do trauma therapy, you do inner child work to clear the past. Once you've seen and experienced and cleared the part of the past you hold on to, you come into the present. For present, you do coaching, you do counseling, you do dialogue, and you do more techniques that require the present, work in the present. From the present, we go ahead and we can manifest and create our future, which is where manifestation, meditation, and all of that comes into it. So you work with the past to become more present and then create our future. When we follow this pattern, we become the master of our destiny. And this becomes an ongoing cycle that we are always working, because the past keeps coming back to us in new ways over and over and over and over again. And as the past keeps coming back, it requires more work. At some point of time, we get the skills to do the work on our own. From there, we move on to creating our own present, being more present, sorry. And from there, we move on to manifesting the future. So fantastic. 6:05. I've taken a little longer, so I thought I would be done by 6. And let's jump into a process. I'm a big, big, big fan of deep healing. I would have loved to do a regression deep healing session, but I wouldn't work deep healing with videos off. I mean, I'm really sorry for that. The reason being, a lot of the processes are tuned looking at how people are feeling and what experiences they are going through. So what we'll do is we'll use another deep healing modality that I love practicing, not regression, but we'll use Ho'oponopono. I love working with Ho'oponopono, and I love mixing Ho'oponopono with light regression. The way healing works, the body understands only one language. There are many of us in this room from different parts of the world, and we all speak different languages. Some of us will speak English, some of us are multilingual. The body has only and only one language. The language of the body is emotion. It's feeling. And that's the language that this body that you and I have speaks. And that's the way the body communicates with us. When you meet someone, you become happy. Or you meet someone who has the same name of the girl or the boy who broke your heart when you were in college, you become sad. You will never name your child after your ex-girlfriend, because the name itself is not something that you associate pleasant memories with. Hearing that name can just make the body react differently. Like just imagining a lemon juice in our mouth makes our body react. A lot of times people don't like listening to horror stories, because hearing horror stories brings about emotions in the body. So the body works with emotions. The body doesn't work with words. When you work with young people, I'm overwhelmed. I'm confused. So what we'll do right now is we'll do a short process. The idea of the process is to release some emotion that you're holding on to from a long time. So just get comfortable, close your eyes. Before we begin, you have thoughts in your mind. Whatever thoughts that you have in your mind, be aware of those thoughts. Be aware of the distractions that you have. What are these thoughts? What are these distractions talking to you about? How are they making you feel? Remember, if you're having challenge with your feelings, most of us tend to speak in our thoughts also in English. Try breaking down what you feel in your own mother tongue. And a simple way to do this is, I'm going to do it in Hindi. मैं क्या महसूस कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ. You can say it in a language that is natural to you. And as you become aware of these emotions that you are currently feeling, get a clear impression of where in your body are you feeling them. If there was a place in your body that you are feeling these emotions, what part of your body would that be? And as you feel these emotions in that part of your body, allow for these emotions to get a little stronger. Stronger with every breath. And as these emotions get stronger and stronger, get impressions of when was the first time you felt this emotion. How old were you when you first felt this emotion? Maybe you get a number, maybe you get an incident. Whatever it is that you get is a part of your past. And now, addressing this part of your past, tell it, today, the 7th of October, and you can repeat your name. Today, the 7th of October, I acknowledge and see this part of my past. I don't know what happened. It is not important to know what happened. To parts of my past that I carry today, I am sorry. I am sorry for whatever it is that you had to go through. Please forgive me. Whatever it is that you went through in the past was in my best interest. I thank you, my past. I thank you for whatever you have done for me, for everything that you have done that I am aware of, and everything that I'm unaware of. I thank you. And my past, You and I are one. You are part of me. And I love you. And we repeat the Ho'oponopono prayer a few times. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. And I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. And I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. And I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. My dear past, it is not important to know what happened. Today, the 7th of October, I choose to release this part of the past that I can. I take absolute responsibility. I am the creator and the master of my own destiny. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. And just become aware of the toes, the bottom of your feet, your toes. You want to be the master of your destiny. You want to be the creator of your life. You want to be healthy and wealthy and have a beautiful and easy and blessed life. From the bottom of your toes, from the tip of your toes, rises this desire to create a beautiful life, like a wave. This wave to heal your body, to heal your soul, to heal the mind, body, and soul. Moving from the tip of your toes, moving to your ankle, further up to your calves, to your knees. And while this wave is moving, in your mind, keep repeating the Ho'oponopono prayer. I am sorry, please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. This wave rises from your knees up into your thighs. This beautiful wave moving from the thighs into the pelvis area, into the stomach, from the stomach moving further up into your chest. And in your mind, I am sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. This wave, beautiful wave of transformation moving up from the chest to your shoulders, from the shoulders going down into your biceps, triceps, elbows, forearms, fingers. And all this while, I am sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. This beautiful wave moving further up into your head, the neck, into your mouth, and filling your entire body with this beautiful transformation energy. And every cell of your body is echoing, I am sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. Every cell of your body is vibrating with releasing the past, celebrating the coming of a new future, knowing that you are the master of your destiny, the creator of your own life, of your own life plan. And one last time to the past, that part of your past that carried this trauma. Dear past, you have done so much for me. You have made me who I am today. I am sorry for whatever it is that you had to go through. Today, the 7th of October, I ask for forgiveness. Please forgive me. There is so much that you do for me that I'm not even aware of. I thank you for all that you do for me. And you and I are one, and I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. And it's over, and it's done. Just keep your eyes closed. Feel the beauty of the session that you just had. Every cell in your body is waiting for a new command from you. And today tell them that I am the creator of my own destiny. I am the master of my life. And each cell and each and every cell of your body should know that this queen or king consciousness that you have has an intent, and the command is life is beautiful and life is easy. All learning comes into my life easily and effortlessly. Let this command go to every cell in your body. All learning comes into my life easily and effortlessly. And one last time, all learning comes into my life easily and effortlessly. We can stay in this moment, feeling all that you experience, feeling blessed and blissful. And we are in the period of Pitrupak. Remember, you came from two parents, a mother and a father. Whatever your relationship with them today, whether they are in this world or not, you received the gift of life from them. So imagine behind you, your parents, and behind them, their parents, your grandparents, dada, dadi, nana, nani. Like a triangle behind you, like a pyramid. You are one. In the row behind you, two parents. In the row behind them, four grandparents. In the third row, 8 great-grandparents. In the fourth row, 16 grandparents. In the fifth row, 32 great-grandparents. In the sixth row, 64 great great grandparents, and in the seventh row, 128 great grandparents. 7 generations of your ancestors standing behind you. And you tell your ancestor, today, the 7th of October, in this auspicious time of Pitru Paksh, I thank you. I thank you for all that you have given me and all that you have blessed me with. And tell them, from today, I change the era. I no longer will operate from fear. I will operate from gratitude. You are my ancestors. You are my parents and my grandparents and their parents. I do not need to be scared of you. I need to love you. I seek your blessing. Give me love. Give me blessing, not for fear, but from gratitude. And just imagine and feel this beautiful energy of these 7 generations of ancestors blessing you today. And you can tell them, I have lived in fear long enough. I have lived with your trauma and making your experiences mine long enough. Today it stops. Your experiences were yours. Today I am born as a master of my death. Just stay with this feeling. Stay with this feeling. And whenever you feel you are complete, you can open your eyes and come back to the here and the now. Whenever you feel you are complete, you can open your eyes and come back to the here and the now, being fully aware. Maybe you can stretch your hands, stretch your fingers like this, move your head. If you have some water, take a sip of water. If you want to write down what you've experienced, take a moment if you want to make a mental note of whatever it is that you have experienced. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone is feeling well. Yeah. Is everybody feeling all right after the process? I hope you enjoyed the process. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. That's it from me. In case anybody has any questions or something they want to ask or share, more than happy to answer or address.
So, Hitesh, I have a question. So, every emotion that we carry, so I mean, just from logical perspective, what percentage of it we are carrying from our past lives, or we know? See, logically, I know we have been domesticated with from our parent circle, societal, and the education institutes that we have gone, and so much we have gathered, but there are certain things, certain traits or habits which will keep us in wonder, like where did I accumulate this from? And probably people don't have a clue where is it coming. I mean, I'm just trying to understand.
So, when I learned Ho'oponopono says two things. It was practiced differently. Dr. Ilyaka knew, who was called Peace of I, bought it in his current Daftar. What he says, and I really love that, he says, you either act from the divine or you act from experience. You only act two ways. We all have the divine within us, right? If we are the creator of our destiny and we are connected to our creator, so we either act from that creator divine, which is the messages we receive from her or him, or whether it's a gender or we don't know, or I act from past experience. So I never really know where I'm acting from. So the best way to do is to clean everything. So, the way he practices it, he says you sit down to eat and you look at the food on your table and say, yum. But there is a subconscious program. Oh, samosa chart. Samosa means acidity the next day, means digestion. Oh, spicy pani puri. That means, next day I can't have roadside pani puri, I will fall sick. But I love pani puri. So you clean on everything, and it's such a beautiful thing, right? The only thing you need to understand with Ho'oponopono, it works with absolute responsibility. So every time you feel slight discomfort about something, is to understand it comes from past experience. And that's the key. The slight difference is where it comes from past. If you're comfortable with the flow, normally it's either divine, but you never work on that also, right? You will not go telling a therapist, listen, I'm very happy now. I shouldn't be so happy. Can I do a session? You will reach out to a therapist saying, listen, I'm uncomfortable with something. Then we don't know whether it's the divine or it's past experience. So we clean. As you move ahead in life becomes such a beautiful journey because you've cleaned up so much, you've got the tools, so you really don't need to. And of course, there are traumas and triggers that will come. There is no one in this world who can say, I'm totally healed. The only person who can say they are totally healed are the ones who are dead. Till then, you will keep getting triggered. The more work you do on yourself, you'll keep getting more tools. And the more tools you get, the better and easier you make life.
Right.
I hope that answered the question.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samila.